And a very good evening to you. Welcome to TV47's Daily Report. I am Shiksha, Arora, and of course we'll be giving you the latest on what's happening in the country when it comes to matters, politics, the scales of justice, and of course in the counties as well. We have our very able reporters on ground to give you the latest. We also have our sign language interpreter tonight. Her name is Rhoda Nyamai. Welcome to this live broadcast. You can find us on all social media platforms. That's at TV47 Kenya. You can find us on X, on Facebook, as well as on Twitter. Sorry, that's the same thing, on Facebook. My name is Shiksha Arora. That's at Shiksha Arora. Remember, please do let us know where you're watching from. You can also find us on YouTube. We hope you're watching us live wherever you are. We hope you're staying warm because this weather is not one to play with. But remember, if you want anything from us, well, we will be giving you the latest. We'll be entertaining you, educating you, and of course, giving you insightful information on the latest in the country. For now, first things first, let's take a look at the highlights. Top on the Daily Report. President William Ruto and ODM leader Rhino Odinga toured Kisumu to inspect development projects ahead of the Madaraka Day celebrations. Their joint appearance, aimed at promoting the broad-based government's agenda, comes just a day after a new survey revealed public skepticism about the political partnership. Also, Kalonzo hosts opposition leaders in Kitui. Opposition leaders, including former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, gather in Nakuru, Kitui County. The high-profile meeting hosted by Kalonzo is seen as a strategic move ahead of planned rallies in Machakos. DNA samples have been collected from families of 8 individuals who perished in the recent Kibra incident. The families are now urging the government to expedite the identification process and bring closure to the painful wait. Betting Control and Licensing Board BCLB has petitioned Parliament to amend laws that will govern the gambling sector in the country. And tonight, we take a look at matters security in Nakuru County, where residents and business owners continue to live in fear following a surge in armed robberies. In just 1 week, 3 traders have lost their lives in attacks carried out by criminals riding on motorcycles and armed with guns and machetes. Mike Kyalo narrates.
It is a wave of robbery targeting Nakuru traders, with 3 business people killed within 1 week in separate incidents in the estates of Pipeline, Ngata and Degendimu. The latest incident occurred last night in Ngata Estate, where Caroline Kwamboka, a shopkeeper, was attacked by 3 thugs who stormed a shop armed with a gun and machete, leaving her with deep machete wounds after resisting demands to hand over money.
So ile harakati ya nikitoka nikirudi tukaingia na hao wezi, wakaniingiza kwa duka ndani, kukaa chini, wakaniambia madam, usipotupatia pesa tutakuua. Nikamwambia sina pesa. Mmoja akachukua panga akanikata hapa, ingine wakaniwekea hapa, wakapitisha hivi. Nikaona sitabishana na hao zaidi, nikaenda nikachukua pesa, ilikuwa almost 40,000, nikawapatia. Wakachukua na credit, wakaenda.
In a tragic twist, Enoch Koech, a 23-year-old who tried to rescue her, was shot and killed at the scene, as eyewitnesses say the assailants were riding on a motorbike armed with an AK-47 rifle, and one of them was reportedly dressed in a police uniform.
Sasa kulikuwa na wajama watatu, 2 wanamchapa na mmoja ni askari, alikuwa amevalia uniform na kona bunduki.
Hiyo harakati tumejifungia kwa hoteli, tukasikia sauti ya bunduki. Kumbe kuna kijana alikuwa anatoka kwa gate kukuja kuangalia ni nini inaendelea. Alipofika hivi wamekutana katikati, ndiye akashutiwa, akakufa hapo.
On Monday this week, the decomposing body of Anna Waithera, a 23-year-old M-Pesa attendant in Nakuru town, was discovered at Tech Farm after going missing on Wednesday last week on her way to deposit 250,000 at a nearby bank.
Mtoto wangu ametoka 200. Mtoto wangu ametoka 200.
Na alipatikana mahali kunaitwa Technology Farm. Hapo ndo walimpata katika ile nili ya kuwekea ng'ombe maji akiwa amefunikwa na nyazi.
Confirming the incidents, Nakuru County Commissioner Levy Kibara stated that the firearm used in all the attacks appears to be the same as the bullets recovered in the scenes match.
When you listen to the story, they are the same fellows, 3 of them, the same weapon.
He assured the public that security agencies are pursuing the gang, promising swift arrest to restore safety for traders and the residents in the region.
We are going to work together with the GAO and the National Police Service so that we make sure that within no time we've arrested this fellow with the firearm.
Mike Chelo, TV47, Nakuru County.
Now, Catholic bishops of Kenya under the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, that's KCCB, are now inquiring into the deaths of 2 priests, John Maina and Alois Bet, who died under unclear circumstances. Now, in a statement released by the Catholic bishops, John Maina died while undergoing treatment in what appears to be a case of possible kidnapping and poisoning, which seems to point to murder or foul play. On the other hand, Alois Bet was shot dead by unknown individuals while he was returning from his ministering mission. Now tonight, President William Ruto and ODM party leader Raila Odinga drummed up support for the broad-based government in Luo, Nyanza, where they held their first joint tour after signing a political pact in March this year. President Ruto launched a broadside against his former deputy Rigathi Gachagua and the opposition for their one-term agitation while leading the region to embrace 10 years of the Ruto administration without a break. Apollo Kamau now reports.
President William Ruto and ODM party leader Raila Odinga held a joint tour of Luo Nyanza, the first since their political pact in March, and one that was reminiscent of former President Uhuru Kenyatta's handshake with Odinga in March 2018. And just like Kenyatta, President Ruto received a rousing welcome and launched a broadside at the opposition, specifically his former deputy Rigathi Gachagua, over his push to make him a one-term president.
Ati kazi yao ni majina. Sijui Ruto must go. Sijui Kasongo. Sijui one term. Hawa tutawaonyesha kivumbi, watashangaa. Ama mnasemaje Kisumu? Tuko pamoja? These are people who have no vision. They have no plan. They have no agenda. And I want to tell you, we are going to move this country forward.
The Kisumu tour gave Odinga the perfect chance to explain to his backyard why he signed a political pact with Ruto before an excited crowd that braved Kisumu's hot sun.
Tulisema endeleo ni sasa. Na kama si sasa, ni sasa hivi. Sivyo? Hii ndio sababu tulifanya hii mkataba na chama ya Bwana Ruto, ODM na UDA. Tukaweka kataba ili tuweze kufanya pamoja kwa manufaa ya watu wetu wote.
Wakisema one term tunawaambia nini? Tunawaambia nini? Tunawaambia nini? Ati Kisumu mnawaambiaje?
President Ruto later headed to Homa Bay, the venue of this year's Madaraka Day, where Odinga's allies, led by County Governor Gladys Wanga, pledged their support for the broad-based government and 10-year mantra for Ruto to deliver his development agenda.
Hatuna uongo yoyote. We are not con men. We are not con people. We are fully behind the broad-based government and your unity with Baba Raila Amolo Odinga.
Kazi bila break. Kazi bila break.
Sisi tumekukaribisha, wana Homa Bay wako chonjo. Tuko nyuma yako na wewe ni mwanafunzi bora wa Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Tuletee mali, tujenge taifa. Kazi bila break. Kazi bila break. Kazi bila break.
Jodhurwa untie. Jodhurwa umor.
President Ruto kicked off his 4-day tour of the Nyanza region, handing over phase 1 of affordable houses at Makasembo Estate in Kisumu, while launching phase 2 of the program. The president also launched the Levy Marina Affordable Housing Project and inspected the Lumumba Affordable Housing Program. In Homa Bay, Ruto launched the tamaking of the 40-kilometer Marindi, Magina, Pala and Oria Bridge Road, among other projects. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Now, the opposition coalition, led by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, and his PNU counterpart Peter Munya, now say its main agenda is to make President William Ruto a one-term president. They dismissed the head of state statements that they have no agenda or political stance. The leaders, who are in Sekuru village, Kitui County, said the president has failed to fulfill his promises to Kenyans and to achieve change. He must leave power after the 2027 general election. Mike Kagongo now reports.
Hallelujah. Thursday in Sekuru village, Kitui County. Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, Cleophas Malala, Eugene Wamalwa and Peter Munya gathered with an aim of seeking an opposition consensus before the start of the presidential campaign in 2027. The meeting, which also aimed to present a common position among opposition leaders in efforts to choose a single presidential candidate to combat President William Ruto in the 2027 elections, aimed to make clear their unity with Kalonzo Musyoka of the Wiper Party.
Mukituona hivyo, tuko na nia. Jenzi mmejam. Na kama mmejam, one term. One term. Ruto, one term.
Akinisikia halali. Hii jamani na musukuma. Ni musukume. Ni musukume. Ni musukume. Aende asiende. Aende asiende. Wangapi wanasema Kasongo aende, Kasongo aende.
We have the experience. We have the commitment. And we shall not relent. Neither shall we surrender in making sure that William Ruto is one term na ufisadi Kenya unaisha.
Yale tunasema kule mbele, it is wazi. Kenya imeamua Ruto must. Jana tifa imeonyesha wazi. 75% ya nchi hii imesema Kenya is headed in the wrong direction.
The leaders maintain that contrary to President William Ruto's statement that they have no agenda, their main goal is to make him a one-term president in efforts to revamp what they term as a shrinking economy.
Mimi naomba wa Kenya mutulie. Mutupatie nafasi, musituharakishe kutangaza flag bearer. Asiwekewe mawe kwa barabara. Si ndio? Lakini mtuamini ya kwamba kati yetu hapa tutatoa kiongozi mo.
Former Agriculture Minister Peter Munya said the country found itself in trouble as soon as the president was elected in 2022. But everyone now aims to make reforms in the next general election.
Kenya tumeingia kwa shimo kubwa na hakuna njia ingine ya kujitoa kwa hiyo shimo ambayo tulijiingiza sisi wenyewe. Lakini ni sisi wenyewe pia tutajitoa huko.
Tungependa kuambia William Ruto kwamba there is a difference between apology and repentance. Apology ni kuomba tu msamaha kusema nimesamea. Lakini repentance ni lazima utaje ni makosa gani unataka kusamehewa.
So Bwana Ruto, is not a question of if. You have blood on your hands. That apology umepeana jana, conditional apology, is not acceptable and it has been rejected by agencies of Kenya.
This meeting comes just a week after President Ruto met with more than 1,600 company leaders at State House in Nairobi, where they discussed development projects in the region, with many describing it as an affirmation of the opposition's resolve.
Executive order namba 2 ya kwanza, tumesema hiyo pamoja na wenzangu hawa, ushuru wa Ruto, kitu inaitwa housing levy tax nyumbani. Hakuna kitu kama hicho.
Senior opposition leaders are facing intense pressure to garner support from their peers ahead of the 2027 general election as the coalition works to identify its presidential candidate. Mike Kagwongo, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has stepped up the economic empowerment program with a promise to support thousands of small and medium enterprises to grow and generate more income. Now, addressing Nyaribari Chache residents in Kisii County, Kindiki assured small-scale business people that the government is keen on ensuring their growth and success. The DP was hosted by area MP Zahir Janda and was accompanied by other leaders including Farouk Kibet and National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, among others, who condemned the opposition for propagating tribalism.
County peke yake tuko na masoko yale yanajengwa, masoko 21 katika kila constituency, na hapa Nyaribari Chache constituency tuko na masoko zaidi ya 5 ambayo aidha yameanza kujengwa ama tumepeana kandarasi yataanza kujengwa anytime from now.
Awaambia, na nakumbuka tulikuja hapa Nyandurago na rais 2022, akawaambia mama mboga atajengewa soko ya kisasa. Si soko ni hizo tunasema hata hapa Nyandurago inajengwa? Hawakuelewa pia hizo soko zikikamilika, zinapoendelea kujengwa, lazima tutayarisha wafanyibiashara ambao watakuwa na stock ya kutosha ya kuweka maduka kwa hizo masoko za gorofa ambazo zinajengwa. Kweli si kweli?
Ni vizuri kuinua jamii, na mimi nashukuru mjumbe wenu Mheshimiwa Zahir, kwa sababu yeye kila na wakati anajali masilahi ya watu ya chini. Ndio maana sisi tumewacha kazi zetu ili tuje tusimame na nyinyi muweze kufaulu. Na kwa sababu njia ya kufaulu ni kushikana kuwa kitu kimoja, tuwe watu wa moja. Kuna wale wanatabiri maneno ambaye isiyofaa katika Kenya.
Now, tonight, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki and his predecessor, Rigathi Gachagua, are locked in a fierce battle for political supremacy over the Mount Kenya region. Now, this escalating rivalry has drawn in artists and musicians from the region, sparking intense political clashes between Kindiki and Gachagua. The conflict intensified days after the opposition questioned the source of funds donated by the Deputy President in ongoing economic empowerment programs. Apollo Kamau now reports.
The great battle for the soul of the Mount Kenya region hit a crescendo this past weekend after Deputy President Kithure Kindiki's dalliance with artists and musicians from the populous region angered his predecessor Rigathi Gachagua, calling the artists and musicians traitors.
Wasanii wetu na waibaji tumehuzunishwa sana ya kwamba wamekuwa wasaliti ya jamii. Ati wameitwa pale Karen juzi na huyu mtu anaitwa Mr. Moneybags. Ati wanaambiwa wakuje wadanganye nyinyi SHA inafanya kazi. SHA inafanya kazi.
A statement that also upset Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, triggering an all-out war in the Kenya Kwanza camp against Gachagua.
Nimeona watu wengine wamejawa na kiburi. Wanaenda kutuongelesha hapa kama na kutulecture. Unatulecture ukiwa nani? Kwani wewe ni Mungu? Una lecture kila mtu, una lecture mwanamuziki, una lecture mwanasiasa, una lecture kila mtu.
Tunataka tuulize Deputy President, protect our musicians and guard their businesses, because work is work, kazi ni kazi, linda biashara yao.
Just days before the latest war of words, courtesy of the musicians, the opposition, including the Gachagua camp, had questioned the source of funds in Kindiki's tour of the Mount Kenya region, which the opposition claims are meant to woo the region after the fallout of Gachagua's impeachment.
Ati katika Kenya yote, pahali anatuma maharagwe na mchele, watu wapewe ni hapa Mlimani. Na shilingi 500. Na sisi ni watu wako na bidii. Sisi rais hatutaki maharagwe. Tunataka bolea, tutapanda maharagwe yetu alafu tuvune.
Nimesikia kuna watu wamekasirika, sijui ni kina nani, ati wanasema tusisaidie hao watu wa biashara ndogo ndogo, ati tunawahonga. Nyinyi ni watu wa kuhongwa? Kuna mtu amewahonga?
Party leader.
Political pundits claim the horse has already bolted in the Mount Kenya region, and no amount of coercion, be it gifts or charm offensive meetings, will soften the region's hardline stance against the Ruto administration.
It's not appeasing the mountain and it's not empowering the mountain. He is merely playing politics. You see, the Mount Kenya region is completely different from the rest of Kenya because also it has the most educated stock. Now these people understand that they only benefit when the whole country is benefiting. So they understand that if you can fix the economy, the Kenyan economy for all of us, you have also fixed for the Mount Kenya. So the moment the economy is not working, you can take all the money you want there. They know that is individual. I mean, how many people can you give money in the first place, okay, to change their life? They know anything, what can change them. Their personal life and that of their children is a government that works for the country.
Interestingly, Kindiki and Gachagua have been defending retired President Uhuru Kenyatta in the various public meetings, with Kindiki notably being consistent, while Gachagua is facing a dilemma over his new party DCP, which is locked in a supremacy battle with the Jubilee Party in the region.
Hii siasa ni siasa ya ujinga ambao tunaleta hapa Central Kenya. Siasa ya vitisho. Tangu siku ile Uhuru na Ruto kabla washikane, mimi ndio nilikuwa natetea hao Hague. Sikuona watu ambao saa hii wanaongea.
I want to tell you from the mountain. Yeah? Nataka nikwambie. I want to tell you William Ruto. Hakuna vibaraka yako tena watatukana Rais Uhuru Kenyatta.
Both Kindiki and Gachagua will be put to the test in the forthcoming Beere North by-election, which analysts say will put to rest the supremacy contest in the Mount Kenya region.
During the Mau Mau War, those were the toughest fighters. So I can tell you right now, the people hurt more by the promises, which have not been fulfilled. It was the ambush, because also they supported Ruto 110%. There will be no contest in that election. It's going to go to whoever will be against UNDA government.
In the wake of Kindiki's appointment as DP, the Gachagua camp saw his appointment as a plot by President Ruto to divide Mount Kenya west and east. Amid reports, Ruto is sponsoring many political parties in the region to jeopardize Gachagua's plans to consolidate the region. Apul Kamal, TV47.
Now, the saga of reconstituting the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that's IEBC, takes center stage once again, with drama unfolding in the corridors of power and the halls of justice. The latest twist, the High Court has hit the brakes on the gazettement and swearing in of President William Ruto's IEBC nominees, even as Parliament races to vet and approve them. Take a look.
Justice Lawrence Mugambi has today issued a temporary injunction stopping the formal appointment of the new IEBC commissioners. This comes after activist Boniface Mwangi and Kelvin Roy petitioned the court challenging the legality and transparency of the nomination process. Their argument, the selection process violated multiple constitutional provisions which demand inclusivity and regional balance. Justice Mugambi found the matters weighty, referring them to Chief Justice Martha Koome to impanel a bench to determine the constitutional questions raised. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, in a rebuttal, asserted Parliament's constitutional independence, emphasizing that no court or institution has the authority to bar Parliament from executing its mandate.
And I repeat, nobody has the power under any law or under our constitution to injunct Parliament from doing its work.
We cannot legislate on a matter that is before a court of law. We have to wait until the court concludes it is the matter in one way or the other. Then from there is when we can legislate. Even a petition.
He went further, directing the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee to urgently vet the IEBC nominees and submit its report without delay.
We need each other, but we discourage and we frown at any overreach by any arm of government on the other arm, especially on matters that are legally clear, constitutionally clear, and morally untenable.
The nominees, including Erastus Edung Ethekon as chairperson and 6 commissioners, comes at a crucial juncture. Kenya's electoral body has been hamstrung by vacancies since early 2023, delaying key functions like boundary reviews and by-elections. With the 2027 general elections looming, the urgency to have a fully constituted IEBC has never been greater.
But if you want to inject Parliament before they do their work, then that means Parliament will not be able to operate in this country.
For now, the courts prepare to hear this matter as Parliament's Justice and Legal Affairs Committee is set to move on swiftly with the vetting. Sheila Chelangat for TV47.
All right, with that, let's take a short commercial break, but we will be back in just a moment with a lot more. Make sure you don't go anywhere. This is the Daily Report on TV47 with me, Shiksha Arora.
Hey kids and families, get ready for the most fun-packed show around, Kids on the Block. Join us for awesome music, magical storytime adventures, and super cool arts and crafts. Plus, we pop tasty treats in our cooking corner. Learn, laugh, and create with us. Kids on the Block, where every day is a brand new adventure. Don't miss it.
Rise and shine with the ultimate morning power play from Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Join Fred Indemuli.
Time for us to take a look at the headlines this morning
as he takes you straight to the heart of the nation on Morning Cafe. From breaking down political intrigues to unpacking the stories shaping our country, this is where tough questions meet hard truths.
The president says he has cancelled, then they say, Igwe.
Stay ahead, stay informed, and stay connected. It's your go-to morning fix on politics, policy, and the pulse of the nation.
Rhino Odinga has put Kenya's interests first for many times.
The State of the Nation with Fred Indemuli, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. only on TV47. Your morning, your nation, your voice.
business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. Richard Bronson.
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Oma every Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. Only on TV47. Full body workouts, zero equipment, maximum results. Start strong, stay strong. TV47 Fitness with Coach Shadrach. Only on TV47.
Hey kids and families, get ready for the most fun-packed show around, Kids on the Block. Join us for awesome music, magical storytime adventures, and super cool arts and crafts. Plus, we pop tasty treats in our cooking corner. Learn, laugh, and create with us. Kids on the Block, where every day is a brand new adventure. Don't miss it.
Rise and shine with the ultimate morning power play from Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Join Fred Indemuli.
Time for us to take a look at the headlines this morning
as he takes you straight to the heart of the nation on Morning Cafe. From breaking down political intrigues to unpacking the stories shaping our country, this is where tough questions meet hard truths.
The president says he has cancelled, then they say, Igwe.
Stay ahead, stay informed, and stay connected. It's your go-to morning fix on politics.
Welcome back. Now, Kenya National Union of Nurses, that's KNUN, has issued a 26-day strike notice for a nationwide nurses strike beginning July 7th. The Union Secretary General Seth Panyako says the decision follows prolonged government inaction on key labor issues. The nurses are now demanding that both national and county governments fulfill their obligations on the permanent employment for the nurses hired under the Universal Health Coverage Program. The Kenya Clinical Officers Association, that's KCOA, on its part, has raised concerns over such issues.
So the national strike is premised on the following issues that have remained unresolved, some spanning for more than 7 years. We are saying it's now or never. Nurses employed under the Universal Health Coverage have suffered for more than 5 years, earning peanuts while doing the same job like their counterparts who have equal academic qualification. We are saying enough is enough. All nurses in the country are going to down the tools if proper measures are not put in place by Parliament to ensure that these nurses are converted to permanent and pensionable.
Matamshi hayatoshi, tunataka kuona vitendo na hivyo vitendo pia lazima viambatane na sheria na kanuni zilizopo. Na hiyo ndio tunasema. La pili, watu wetu wametueleza kwamba wanasumbuka na mambo ya insurance. Hawawezi pata huduma ya afya wanapokuwa wanahitaji. Hasa hapa Bungoma kwamba county imechukua ili inaitwa Britam kuwapatia huduma ya afya, lakini hiyo huduma ya afya haiwafikii.
Miungano ya wahudumu wa afya, kwa sababu pia mimi ni chairman wa ile Health Union Caucus, tumeamua kwa kauli moja ya kwamba kama ile bajeti inatoka, haitakuwa na hela za kuhakikisha ya kwamba wanasawazisha mishahara ya UHC na pia wale Global Fund wanawalipa graduate na pia waweke PNP. Sisi wote kama wahudumu wa afya nchini tutakuwa basi tunaingia kwa mgomo, lakini hatutaki.
Now, government forensic experts have collected samples to identify the 8 people who died in the fire incident that occurred in Kibra early Saturday morning. Now, according to the forensic team, the DNA identification process is expected to take up to 1 month to complete. However, families of the victims are calling on the government to speed up the process, citing financial hardships and warning that any delays will only worsen their situation. Andreen Kilemi has the details.
Thursday morning at the city mortuary in Nairobi, a painful wait begins for victims of the Kibera fire tragedy that claimed 8 lives in the dead of Saturday night. A team of government forensic experts began collecting DNA samples to help grieving families put names to the bodies and bring closure to a tragedy that has left a trail of heartbreak.
Hapa mochari niko na maiti mbili za watoto wangu. Alafu bibi ya mtoto wangu ambaye anaitwa Charity akapata majeraha mabaya sana, saizi yako Kenyatta Hospital. Na mjukuu wangu Jaylen Boso miaka miwili akapata majeraha ya kichwa.
Authorities, however, say the identification process could take up to 1 month, a timeline that has left many relatives distraught.
And we don't understand within that period tutakuwa tunafanya namna gani.
Mimi mwenyewe ni mgonjwa. Kwa hivyo vile nilisikia wakisema DNA itachukua almost 1 month, sijui nitakuwa kwa hali gani. Jo hata mimi mwenyewe niko kwa madawa.
While President William Ruto pledged government support for funeral expenses, affected families say what they have received so far is far from sufficient.
Nimetoka nyumbani, niliitiwa tu maiti. Nyumba ya watoto wangu iliungua. Sina mahali pa kukaa. Hata kama ni hela kidogo nilipewa, unatumia kila siku kuja hapa, kurudi kuzunguka huku na huku, alafu zinaisha. Na wengine bado wako hospitali. Sasa hata unashindwa sasa zilikuwa zisaitie mazishi ama zinisaidie mimi kukaa Nairobi nikilia. Afadhali waharakisha haraka mimi nibebe miili za watoto wangu nipeleke nyumbani.
As the smoke clears from Saturday fire, which reduced more than 46 homes to ashes, the community is left grappling with loss, pain and unanswered questions. Andreen Kilemi, TV47.
Meanwhile, Betting and Licensing Board BCLB has petitioned Parliament to amend laws that will govern the gambling sector in the country, citing that old regulations are making it difficult to regulate the emerging gambling trends. Now, BCLB, appearing before the Sports and Culture Committee, has called for the introduction of laws enabling the board to impose administrative fines on rogue gambling companies that do not comply with existing regulations. Meanwhile, the 30-day suspension of advertisements of betting and gambling companies ends today, and stakeholders are now waiting for clarification.
It is a challenge, as you've said, the issue of globalization and stationing ourselves in readiness for this. And one of the things that will enable us to do that is passage of that law that now creates an authority and at the same time provides for other facets that makes it easy for us to operate. Once the law is clear and it is established, which now provides for things that CAP 131 does not, even in terms of technology.
The 30 days are over. And from your explanation, it is like the regulations and the policy through the multi-agency has not been communicated to the operators. So what happens? Do they resume or you leave them in limbo?
And I'm sure that that guideline will come in before the end of the ban, which ends in midnight today.
Now, Nandi Hills Member of Parliament Honourable Bernard Kitur, together with Dr. Geoffrey Kiprop, have proposed the introduction of a health promotion levy in the soft drinks industry to the NA Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning. Now, the duo made the proposal during the ongoing public hearings on the Finance Bill 2025, where they based their recommendations on alarming trends in the consumption of soft drinks by Kenyans compared to other countries that have regulations limiting sugar consumptions. They say the purpose of the levy is to combat the rising consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages, that's SSBS in Kenya, which has led to increased cases of obesity, diabetes, and other non-communicable diseases, that's NCDs. Kitur now proposes that the money collected through the levy be used to support public health campaigns, infrastructure, and school nutrition programs.
we wish to propose that a levy be applied to manufacturers and importers of sugar-sweetened beverages as follows. The base be set. Of course, we didn't come arbitrarily with this figure as captured. We have been able to study several countries, which I will be able to highlight some of these countries that have actually implemented this, and we saw the lowest of them all was actually doing 4 grams per 100 mil as exempted from this tax. Therefore, anything above the 4 grams, we propose that for the local manufacturers, the beef rate should to attract a rate of 1 shilling per gram of 100 mil above the set base. For the imported beverages, it be 2 shillings per gram of 100 mil beyond the set base. As new manufacturers are setting up, one of the aggressive marketing campaigns they are using is to ensure a drink that is released is more sugary than the other. So there is no any cap as of now. That's why we are proposing like a base rate of 4 grams per 100 ml, and anything beyond that can attract a levy.
Now, in a rapidly changing world, a section of leaders say artificial intelligence, that's AI, if well utilized, will increase productivity and reduce costs in key sectors such as education, health, and agriculture, while improving the lives of ordinary citizens. Speaking in Nairobi, Dagoretti South legislator John Kiarie said he intends to set up several technology branches in each ward to provide jobs for the youth. The MP said AI technology is expected to play a major role in the transformation of the African continent, offering a different perspective on work.
It's Kenya Digital Master Plan. We have set out very ambitious targets to roll out 100,000 kilometers of fiber, to ensure that there are 25,000 Wi-Fi hotspots around this country. And newly, we have changed the law, the NGCDF, to allow for members of parliament to provide funds through their NGCDF committees to install and institute 1,450 digital innovation hubs across the country.
The role that AI will enable for citizens to be able to access solutions that transform lives. In education, it's being able to drive education to the masses. We are bringing in 1,200 new babies every year in Africa.
To East African countries in the idea of promoting the values that we believe in, the values that are related to human rights, to democracy, and of course the access to technology, to high tech. It's important in order to decrease the difference between rich and poor.
All right, let's look at the latest in the world of business, where Equity Group has reported a 4% dip in its first quarter results, with its profit after tax at PAT falling to 15.4 billion Kenya shillings for this period that ended March 31st, 2025. Now, this compares to 16 billion Kenya shillings recorded in the same quarter of 2024. Now, despite the marginal decline in overall profitability, the banking group highlighted a strengthened balance sheet and consistent earnings contributions from its regional subsidiaries, and Equity Bank Kenya continued to be the largest single contributor to the group's profit, underscoring its pivotal role in the conglomerate's financial performance. Investors are now keenly observing the group's next moves.
We're really confident that the NPLs at the business level, they are trading well, very well in Tanzania, very well in Uganda, stable in Uganda, but we have a concentration of NPLs in Kenya, and we all know what that trend is, and we should be able to address that.
Meanwhile, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers has called upon the government to address the unpredictability of the tax and policy environment to support local production. During the launch of a locally manufactured enhanced flooded battery by chloride exide, CAM CEO Tobias Alando said if the government gives clear incentives, local manufacturers will now be able to produce goods best suited for local needs. Charles Ngari, the managing director at Chloride Exide, said technological advancements in cars being imported prompted them to manufacture batteries that match these changes to aid in proper vehicle functioning.
We are keen enough to address some of the concerns in terms of the predictability of the tax and the policy environment in this country. And the launch of this product by Chloride is a demonstration that there's a lot that we can do locally in terms of the production of different goods, different items for the local market. So we want this kind of initiative to be supported by providing clear incentives.
As demand was going up and our customers started demanding for a battery that is able to power such kind of a vehicle, we had to actually go back to the drawing board and be able to manufacture a battery that is able to meet that demand.
Now, Kenya innovators are increasingly finding homegrown solutions for prevalent problems, often exacerbated by unreliable imported goods. Anthony Muthungu, the 28-year-old founder of Totosai Holdings Limited, showcased his 100% made in Kenya phone charging and data transfer cables during Zitech University's Innovation Week. The Zitech alumnus was driven to create his own brand after repeatedly experiencing frustration with faulty and short-lived imported charging cables. He says local production addresses a critical market gap, proving that Kenya has the talent and capacity to produce reliable tech products.
Of course, it is way much better than what is in the market because, again, our products comes with 1 year guaranteed service. The wires, the raw materials we produce and we make way much better. Fast charge, 1 year guaranteed service. Reached my target because we supply them to Safaricom. So if you go to any Safaricom shop, you can buy them there, or you buy through the Masoko e-commerce platform, and then you get them there.
All right, let's get into the world of sports, where the 6th edition of the much-anticipated Kipkeino Classic Continental Tour is just a few hours away, with final touches being done on the Ulinzi complex ahead of the much-awaited showpiece. Our sports reporter Duncan Mutua is keeping an eye on what's happening at the Ulinzi Sports Complex and has prepared the following report. Take a look.
1 day to go until the 6th edition of the Kipkeino Classic Continental Tour, set to take place at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Stakeholders and athletes have intensified their preparation.
I've trained well. I'm getting better. Just that I'm just working on some few technical errors.
This year's edition marks the first time the event will be held outside its traditional venues, Nyayo and Kasarani stadiums, since its inclusion in the World Athletics calendar in 2020. The change of the venues comes as the two stadiums undergo renovations ahead of the African Nation Championship, scheduled for August.
Just looking at the previous editions of the Kipkeino Classic, the times are very quick and the competition are very strong.
189 athletes will compete across different categories. This year's edition has attracted top European stars, including 2016 Olympic javelin champion Thomas Roller from Germany, two-time World Olympic medalist Anderson Peters from Grenada, and reigning hammer throw world champion Ethan Karsberg from Germany. Also expected as South African sensation Bayanda Walaza and Caribbean star Shafika Maloney.
Yeah, look, the Americans have been very strong in the 400. Obviously Quincy Hall's been an inspiration for me a little bit. Obviously Zakithi Nini as well. He's looked very strong this year, as well as the whole South African squad.
Mtu kupata chance ukiimbie Kipkeino Classic ni kitu ngumu. So watu kama sisi wenye tumepata chance kushiriki hii mbio tunashukuru Mungu.
Kenya's homegrown talent will also be on display, including Ferdinand Omanyala, Edwin Serem, Sarah Mora, Zablo Mekwam, and former Olympic silver medalist Julius Siego, among others.
Of course, it is a good competition. It's a good place to to show to the fans here at home what we have been doing outside Kenya, and for them also to come and watch the best of the javelin throwers around the globe who we've been competing in many places around the world. So it's another opportunity also to to inspire the younger generation. They can see it on the home soil what it means to to do it.
Duncan Mutua, TV47 Sports.
Now, in a proactive move to ensure top-tier security for the upcoming CHAN 2024 tournament, the Confederation of African Football, that's CAF, through its head of safety and security, Dr. Christian Emurua, today kicked off a 2-day intensive training program for security supervisors. The initiative aims to strengthen safety protocols and enhance coordination ahead of the Continental Championship.
One person died and 40 people in the stadium because they
The importance of this workshop is to equip our security officers with the knowledge about the security of CHAN, which is very key in ensuring that we have a successful competition without any security risk. So I'm very glad and happy that the CAF have dedicated their time to come and work with the officers who will be on the ground.
To train them, to tell them how to deal with crowds in terms of football.
Safety and security training for security commanders in preparation for the CHAN is a routine that we do engage in whenever we want to organize any major tournament or events across Africa. And the fact of the matter is that in Africa we have enough police capacity, but there is need for us to also introduce to this police.
Excitement is building ahead of the 36th edition of the Rhino Charge, set to take place on Saturday, 31st May 2025 in Baringo County. More than 11 million Kenya shillings have been pledged in sponsorship for this year's event, which will support 2 competing vehicles. Veteran off-roader Adil Kawaja, driving car number 44, has received a sponsorship boost of 10 million Kenya shillings, while an additional 1 million will support the event's first ever electric vehicle entry driven by Nick Foley. This year's edition will feature 65 teams from Kenya and beyond, all racing to support a greater cause.
I'm going to drop in the middle now, Will.
We have a 230 twin motor kilowatt motor. We are running it off of a 62 kilowatt hour battery pack, and we can carry 2 battery packs. So right now we have 2 battery packs installed. Each battery pack weighs about 480 kgs, so they're very heavy. So that's how we're going to start the charge, and then we'll drop 1 battery as soon as we finish it. I have no idea. So in standard, in a standard 4-wheel drive, we're getting around 16 hours of drive and covering about 180 kilometers.
Now, English Premier League side Chelsea came from behind to beat Real Betis.
Hey kids and families, get ready for the most fun-packed show around, Kids on the Block. Join us for awesome music, magical storytime adventures, and super cool arts and crafts. Plus, we pop tasty treats in our cooking corner. Learn, laugh, and create with us. Kids on the Block, where every day is a brand new adventure. Don't miss it.
Rise and shine with the ultimate morning power play from Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Join Fred Indemuli.
Time for us to take a look at the headlines this morning
as he takes you straight to the heart of the nation on Morning Cafe. From breaking down political intrigues to unpacking the stories shaping our country, this is where tough questions meet hard truths.
The president says he has cancelled, then they say Igwe.
That will take a short break and we'll be coming back with Green Fix. In case you're wondering what we have lined up for you tonight on the other side, it's all about Africa Collect Textiles and a pioneering business that really just recycles textiles. And of course, this is something that we'll be talking about in detail. Of course, we will also be having a very interesting conversation later on regarding the Mitumba business and what really happens. What happens after you wear your clothes, that is thrift clothes, when you go to Mitumba, what happens after that? So that's something that we'll be discussing, and of course we'll be having a very interesting conversation about that later on. But for now, let's take that short break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey kids and families, get ready for the most fun-packed show around, Kids on the Block. Join us for awesome music, magical storytime adventures, and super cool arts and crafts. Plus, we pop tasty treats in our cooking corner. Learn, laugh, and create with us. Kids on the Block, where every day is a brand new adventure. Don't miss it.
Rise and shine with the ultimate morning power play from Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Join Fred Indemuli.
Time for us to take a look at the headlines this morning
as he takes you straight to the heart of the nation on Morning Cafe. From breaking down political intrigues to unpacking the stories shaping our country, this is where tough questions meet hard truths.
The president says he has cancelled, then they say Igwe.
Stay ahead, stay informed, and stay connected. It's your go-to morning fix on politics, policy, and the pulse of the nation.
Rhino Odinga has put Kenya's interests first for many times.
The State of the Nation with Fred Indemuli, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. only on TV47. Your morning, your nation, your voice.
Business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. Richard Branson.
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Omer every Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. only on TV47. Full body workouts, zero equipment, maximum results. Start strong, stay strong. TV47 Fitness with Coach Shadrach only on TV47.
Kids and